Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD Starcraft, and I'm here for another Heart of the Swarm broadcast. Today I'll be doing a Protoss versus Zerg, and down in the bottom right hand corner, allow me to introduce NRS UnderDark, who is a Ukrainian Protoss player by the name of Alexander Golik. So he does have my first name. I'll be rooting for him silently. And in the top left-hand corner, we've got Quantic Hyun. He is, of course, the Korean Zerg at the top left-hand corner in the red color. And let me go ahead and make sure my sound is not bugged out once again. It is actually bugged out, so this time I will fix you. Boom. All right, so I think that should be good. Yes. Okay. So now we've got music. All right, guys. And let me go ahead and make sure that this is not too loud because sometimes that can get a little too loud. All right, so all the settings are good to go. As you guys all know, I did go to Thunder Hill Raceway a few days ago, and that was a ton of fun. I hope you guys checked out the video. A crazy day at the track. It was about 110-degree temperature. I read all the comments you guys said. I know I didn't hit all the apexes on the turns, and it wasn't like perfect and all that good stuff, but you know, I am a beginner. I'm trying to get better at it. I will be going for a couple more days. Maybe I'll have more videos for you guys when I improve. But you know, going back to StarCraft 2 here, Heart of the Swarm, and I've got a lot of replays I want to cast for you guys in the next couple of days. A lot of tournaments have been going on, weekly tournaments, as well as replay packs that have been going out, and I've been so impressed with Hyun. You know, I love Zerg players, obviously. I'm a Zerg player myself, but I've been really impressed with Hyun. He's one of the players that have been releasing replay packs, and you know, his games are just so high level. If you guys haven't seen the game I casted with him in Polt, definitely check it out. It was amazing. One of the best Zerg versus Terrans I've seen in a while. So let's go ahead and delve right into this. Hyun going for a hatchery. He's got a spawning pool coming out around the back of his mineral line. And at the other side, we do have UnderDark here, who is, like I said, the Ukrainian toss, going for double gas and a gateway cybercore on Akalon Wastes. And, you know, Protoss versus Zerg, a couple of ways you can approach it. Ground toss is still probably the most popular way to play it, but you can also go sky toss as well, something that Whitera loves to do, which reminds me, I want to go ahead and try to get some more Whitera replays for you guys. It's always fun to cast Whitera. And looks like we do have a pylon coming up over here on the left-hand side. Yeah, let me know if you guys did you guys enjoy my track video. I figured it would be a nice switch up for, you know, for fun, change it up a little bit and do something different once in a while. You know, I had a lot of fun doing that event. So I think in the future I will upload more videos, but wait till I get better. I want to actually become like good enough to not embarrass myself. So yeah, there is that. We do have a gas here, 3 drones on the gas, and Hyun's playstyle, it definitely differentiates depending on how he wants to play. He can be an aggressive Zerg, he can go into the macro game as well. We already saw, you know, a lot of games with him so far, and he's actually been able to sneak a couple of Zerglings in here, which is always a nice way to start off a match of StarCraft 2. It's hard to get, well, I guess with UnderDark here, his opening is a little interesting. He did not wall off the front, you know, like a Naniwa style opening would, but he is going to go for an expansion. I'm a little curious why he didn't decide to throw the gateway and core up here, because it's always a good idea to have that second wall in case, you know, your front over here gets breached in the mid game. You have something to fall back to, and you can throw a force field down over there. So I don't know why, you know, some Protoss players opt to do it like this. Maybe it's just for convenience, just like how some Terrans don't wall in. So maybe it's some type of play style or something like that. I don't want to delve too much into it because I don't know. But we do have a couple of queens out here, and Hyun right now is researching metabolic boost, Zergling speed, and he's getting a couple of drones out right now, which is exactly what you'd expect a Zerg player to be doing at this moment. I'm very curious, is he going to throw down a quick third hatchery? Or is he going to be a little aggressive and, you know, get some early units out? I think the default play, the standard play, is to get a third hatchery down, especially on a map this big, and there it goes. So a third hatch is on the way as the wall is set up at the front door. We have 3 gateways here, which, you know, actually, as Zerg, when you scout this out, this is a huge deal because you see that the Protoss is probably most likely not going with Stargate. And by scouting this out, I mean, this is a big deal. You can then tailor your build accordingly. You don't actually need to go quick Hydras. Although you still can, because Roach Hydra is still very good against ground troops as well. You're not pigeonholed, I don't think, into going Hydras, Infestors, or you know, quick Spire for Corruptors. And when you see something like this, you do have to be a little careful about a 2-base timing attack. Because you don't know how many gateways are coming up in the background, but typically, most Protoss, when they open like this, they are going to go for like a 5-gate Robo and expand, or a 3-gate Robo and expand, and try to play macros. So there's some Mothership Core has made her way all the way to the left-hand side, and both the lady units for the races are now engaged in a battle, but I think the Mothership Core probably not as rowdy as the Queen is, so I'll say that. The Queen has her tentacles and her appendages and everything. The Mothership Core just kind of floats. She's more benevolent than the Queen is. But here we go. We do have what I was saying before, like a two-base timing. This isn't necessarily an all-in, but this is very dangerous when a Protoss does this. He's bringing up Pylon. He's got 4 gates, and he's adding on a 5th and a 6th gate now. This is a huge sentry timing attack. And depending on how much UnderDark wants to commit to this, is Hyun gonna be ready to hold this off? And he sees this now. Hyun sees this with the creep, obviously. A ton of sentries, and UnderDark is going to try to commit to this attack. Now, he really should throw a pylon up here on the high ground as well. He's blocked the Queen in, and so the Queen is going to go down. And the Hatchery now taking a ton of damage. Hyun doesn't have any troops. He is trying to get a Hydralisk in. He's trying to get Hydralisk out right now, and Spine Crawlers, but he will not be able to save this Hatchery nor the drones. So UnderDark's attack, 2-base timing, FTW going to get the victory here, and is going to be easily able to kill off this Hatchery. The drones have nowhere to run. Slaughter of the lambs or the drones, and the Hatchery is going to go down. Now, UnderDark should definitely pull back. I don't think it's wise to commit into trying to end the game right now. But then again, I guess he's going to try to, but he should know that there's going to be Spine Crawlers up here. I don't think this is a good idea. You know, the mission has been accomplished. The best thing to do now, I think, is to pull back, get a 3rd Nexus back here, fortify it with the wall, and then play macro. I mean, you've just capitalized against a player like Hyun. This is the time to not take chances or gamble or risk away your lead, if you ask me. And there's more Hydralisks coming up on the high ground here, so this is getting increasingly dangerous. Interestingly, Hyun is going for Hydra speed rather than Hydra range. I definitely feel like one of the merits to going Hydra range before speed is if you are on the high ground, you're in a defensive position, range probably outweighs speed since you're already on creep. But since he is going for speed, maybe he's planning to go for a counter attack. He has opened up the backdoor area here, but no, now he's going to go for Hatchery. No, he's going to cancel that, changes his mind. He does have Zerglings coming around to the Protoss front door, but this is sealed off by a Zealot. Very few Protoss nowadays will make the mistake of not leaving a Zealot there. That it's cost many Protoss the game before, so wise there from UnderDark to leave it, and now he is going to go ahead and pull back. He's adding on a Robotics Bay and a Twilight Council, but he does need to get a 3rd base. He cannot stay on 2 bases for too long here, but at the same time, I gotta say, UnderDark here is looking great against Hyun. If you guys caught the chat in the beginning of the game, UnderDark was like, alright, now I play for reals. I'm not going to give you the easy win anymore, assuming, of course, these guys had played a few matches before. So, yeah, UnderDark is doing pretty good for himself right now, and you know, as good as Hyun is, he has got a hole to dig himself out of. Now, I gotta say, I love what he's doing. He's double expanding here, trying to catch up by you know, kind of eco-cheesing to get back on a firm standing against the Protoss player. And he does have map control, as he's pretty much claimed the middle with creep and Hydras. A hallucinated Phoenix kind of flying around here, giving scouting info back to the Protoss homeworld. We do have 2 Stargates being added on right here. Now, this is so surprising. What we have is UnderDark going for Colossus, going for Twilight Council, and he's adding on Stargates. And I don't know if a Protoss on 3 base has enough to field all the units they want when, you know, they only got 6 gas. So I'm assuming here he's going to choose one or the other, and I'm guessing he's going to go with Stargate. So maybe the Colossus was a feign, because the Robotics Bay was scouted, was the Support Bay. The Support Bay was canceled, it looks like. I don't see the Support Bay anywhere on the map. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Structures tab, and no, it is here. So it's actually in the back of the Natural. And if we look at the Zerg vision here, did he see the Support Bay? No, he didn't. So very curious that he's adding on 2 Stargates. and, you know, not sticking with the Colossus, which, you know, would be a good idea against the Hydras that Hyun's got here, which right now Hyun is going to try to bust down these rocks. There is a Changeling hiding there. Actually trying to get out. Let me free! I'm one of you! And so the Changeling is going to now sneak his way over to the front door. But, you know, Hyun, while he did break down these rocks, I don't actually think he can attack into this location. Probably not the best idea as it is choked off. I'm very curious about UnderDark's unit choice from the Stargates. He's making Phoenix, which, yeah, they're good, but at this late stage of the game against Hydralisk, I don't know if they're the best idea. Now, you know, Hyun sees this, and when you scout a Protoss going double Stargate in the late game, there's only one conclusion you can come to, and that is that the Protoss is going to be adding on a fleet beacon soon. We're going to be seeing carriers and Tempests. So Hyun has got to be pretty happy that he's got a Spire down and he's got Corruptors on the field already. So I think he's looking pretty good, and actually surprisingly adding in Swarm Hosts as well. So he's going to have some Swarm Hosts coming out on the field. They're not the best unit against Protoss Air, but it's not terrible. He needs units right now to hold off this attack. Hallucinated Colossus and Immortals coming in here to mix it up a little bit. The Hallucination's pulling back. That's not something you see every day. Apparently, UnderDark not taking the time to add that Colossus to his army, which would be very helpful. It would draw the Corruptor's fire. Time Warp Field comes down. Oh my god, Hyun is in so much trouble. The Stalkers are going to blink forward. More Swarm Hosts coming in for reinforcements. They are going to burrow underneath. I'm not sure if there's a Observer here. I don't think there is. So the Locust should be able to hold this area. And of course, the Overseer and Corruptor squads coming out to check for Observers. But oh, Hyun losing a lot of his Corruptors there, risking gambling there to find the Observer when there wasn't any nearby, and that was a huge blow to Hyun's army. I think UnderDark is going to take another expansion. He's actually going to re-kill this one. Oh, this is terrible. And these Stalkers, they do have blinks, so they can just jump right back up to the high ground here. But there are Zerglings out waiting there, and the Zerglings are, oh, they're going to get a full surround on those Stalkers, and the Stalkers are going to go down. Hatchery has fallen now, and it's time for UnderDark to get the hell out of here before more reinforcements arrive and his forces get cut off. This is one of the big mistakes that Protoss can make. They linger around too long on enemy creep, and a Zerg, I mean, when you see something like this, your lips just start salivating, really. They get wet with saliva because you get so excited because you want to take out this Protoss army. And I don't know why UnderDark is sticking around. It looks like he's brought an Observer. That's why he wants to pick off these Swarm Hosts, and a pretty good job here. He's gonna be killing off most of them, and now target firing the new ones as well. And even though he will lose most of his army, it's not a terrible trade because he did kill off, you know, 8 or 9 Swarm Hosts. I don't think he got the better of it, of the trade. Maybe it wasn't such a great trade. I would have actually liked to see him pull his army out of there because a Zerg can easily replenish his army, a Protoss not so much. So I think that might have been a bit of an overcommitment by UnderDark, but I'll tell you guys one thing: we don't have any shortage of you know, adrenaline in this matchup. Definitely a lot of attacks and aggression going on here, and you know, both of these guys not afraid to get their feet wet. You know, very, very exciting match so far. But it looks like now both of them are pulled back a little bit. Things are calming down. UnderDark is preparing to go for another Nexus. He will need to get the income from that expansion to field more forces now that we're going close to 20 minutes plus. Colossus, now real Colossus, not hallucinated Colossus, guys. Real Colossus are coming out with extended thermal lance. And Hyun is adding on Infestors. He's got Ling, Hydra, Infestor here. Not a bad army from both sides. Hyun's still not as high in supply as you'd like to see a Zerg player, but he will be able to get the cancel off on this Nexus, barring a miracle, and that Nexus now being surrounded 360 degrees by Zerglings, and that will go down very, very quickly. Surprisingly, actually, Hyun has not, oh, he is on Hive Tech. Just has not researched adrenal glands, nor has he gotten plus really any upgrades. Both players are kind of sparse in their upgrades right now. Zerg at 2-1 and Protoss at 2-1 as well. But the reason for that is because there's been so much aggression in this game. You know, when your army isn't maxed out and you're forced to continually replenish and micro, it's hard to keep up on your upgrades. So yeah, both players here playing a pretty good game of StarCraft 2. And this is just excellent, excellent micro and macro. UnderDark now coming in. He doesn't have an observer as far as I can see, and here comes the Overseers checking to make sure. Great fungal growth right there, locking the Phoenix down, and Hyun, will he be able to beat this army? The Colossus are just lasering things down though, but there is not enough anti-air, and these Colossus and Stalkers have to be careful, very, very careful. Both sides drawing a mutual truce right there, just a tentative truce. It's like the one between North and South Korea. All-out war could break out at any time, but for now both sides have decided to pull back, and it looks like, yeah, the Protoss UnderDark is going to retreat for now rather than decide to stick around on all of this creep. The creep gives the Zerg such a huge advantage, you know, with vision and speed. You don't want to be on that if you can help yourself. So UnderDark does pull back. He is adding on a Templar Archives, renewed the Nexus at the top location. So very nice for UnderDark there. He will need to put some forces in between this base and this base to make sure that it stays fortified, as we do have Locusts kind of sprawling their way across the map and sieging little locations here or there. A new hatchery is coming up for Hyun, but hold that thought. We have another major battle about to occur here. Hyun is on the creep. He has that advantage going for him. He should burrow his Swarm Hosts down, and there we go. Swarm Hosts are now underground and spawning Locusts. That is a very long travel distance. I'm not sure if the Locusts actually have enough lifetime, even with Evolve Enduring Locusts, to make it over there. And even if they did, those Colossus are going to be able to take down those Locusts very quickly. Now, I like how UnderDark is going for Storm, because when you're dealing with Hydras, and Zergling, Storm is very, very good. And it's a good, you want to add it into Colossus. You don't want to just solely rely on Colossus, because if you do, then Corruptors will just eat you alive. So he's adding in a mixture of Templar and Colossus, and that's what you want to do as Protoss. The only thing here is he doesn't have Storm quite researched yet. He's going to take another minute before Storm is ready. He might want to just make his Templars into Archons right now, and oh, this is going to be bad for UnderDark. Hyun coming in with forces from all over the place. There are a lot of Colossus here though, just a raw number of Colossus able to take out the Hydralisks, but at the end of the day, the Corruptors are, no, they have to pull back. Too many Stalkers underneath, and Hyun, grossly, I guess, over-calculating his advantage there, and I mean, I even thought he was going to win that fight, but UnderDark just had so many Colossus. He had like 6 Colossus, and there weren't enough Corruptors to take them out in a manageable amount of time, and during that time, all the Hydras were just roasted. So UnderDark with, you know, with an attack, with a defend, actually, with his Colossus, and actually doing a great job there with his hold. So very nice. And now Templar Storm is done. That is a big deal for UnderDark. You know, with Templar Storm ready now, his AoE firepower, you know, magnifies significantly. But then again, Hyun now is adding on Broodlords. He was able to make his way up to Hive Tech. This is an interesting game because you don't see so much drone and probe harass. If we pull up the workers' loss, oh, 22 probes did go, drones did go down over here earlier on. But besides that, there hasn't been too much harass. It's basically been skirmish after skirmish. It's kind of like a war of attrition, and who's going to have the most units standing at the end here? UnderDark once again lasering down those Storm Hosts. It's a good time now to push in while the Locusts are on cooldown. But the longer he waits, obviously, he will have to deal with another round. And here we go. Another round of Locusts is on the way. Broodlords are here too. And this Protoss army forced to use a Storm on the Locusts. It's not the best use of Psionic Storm. You want to save it for the Hydras. There we go. Very decent Storm there. Another Colossus coming out. He's got to be careful. Oh, the rally point was not reset. And a Colossus goes down. But I think UnderDark, once again, might just have enough here to hold on. It's going to be close. He needs more AoE. And another brutal Storm going down on those Hydras. But the Hydras do have speed, allowing them to maneuver out of the way before they take too much damage. It looks like maybe Hyun will have enough to break through. No, once again, has to pull back. The photon cannons assisting the Protoss army there. But throughout this battle, I'm looking at the supplies here. Hyun has somehow jumped up to 192 supply, and UnderDark is only at 109. I don't know how Hyun did it. I have no idea. I thought both players were pretty close in this game, but Hyun has skyrocketed now at 170 to 108, and the Swarmos are continuing to siege the Protoss forces. That last Broodlord goes down to the final Stalker attack. But at the end, I think Hyun is going to be able to claim victory here. You know, definitely one of the things that went good for Hyun there was when that Colossus came out. It went right down to the low ground, and it did not stand on the high ground. That would have helped UnderDark's cause by quite a bit, but unfortunately, I think Hyun will have enough here to take out this Nexus. And I mean, this is an amazing comeback by Hyun. If you guys think about it, he lost his third twice, and he was still able to come back. And he lost 22 drones to start the game off. That is a crippling blow to any Zerg player, and Hyun just made it look like, you know, it was child's play. And now I think UnderDark will probably have to type out GG. He just doesn't have any more money. He's out of gas. He has less than half, you know, the supply that Hyun is fielding right now on the map, and this should be drawing down to its conclusion. Very, very good game by Quantic Hyun. Textbook way, I guess, to let the Protoss kill off your hatchery, kill off your drones, and still find a way to come back in the game. I mean, come on, how do you do that? That is just lol hacks mode, and Hyun made it look like it was easy peasy. So yeah, now he's adding on Neural Parasite, I guess, to troll us all with his amazing neural skills. Not like he really needs it. I think UnderDark now is going to probably make his last stand right here, and I don't see him holding off. Oh, the Roach is just streamlining in and taking out the Colossus. And now Overseers are going, no, those are Broodlords, those are Broodlords. Tons of Broodlords coming out just to add insult to injury. And UnderDark here, I think, is done for the day. But a pretty good game by him, I gotta say. That was very impressive opening with the sentries and really capitalizing against Hyun. Just couldn't hold on to the lead. And I hope you guys enjoyed that match. So I do have more games I want to cast for you guys. I actually am on a bit of a Hyun spree right now, so I'm going to do another Hyun game. It'll be a Zerg versus Terran next. Very impressive matches from the Korean Zerg. So stay tuned. And for now, this is HD, and I'm signing out.